Nietzsche scrolled TikTok and found hell. You think you're becoming someone, but the algorithm has already decided who that someone is.
God is dead, and thirst traps killed him. Is this humanity's final tragic punishment? Endlessly swiping through AI-generated dating advice from 20-year-olds and motivational speeches filmed in luxury cars they don't own.
Friedrich Nietzsche himself, trapped in today's digital nightmare, forced to witness humanity reduced to dance challenges, sponsored affirmations, and artificial authenticity. Welcome to Nietzsche's personal hell, TikTok's For You page.
So much self-expression, yet somehow all the selves look the same.
Nietzsche warned us long ago of the consequences of God's demise, the collapse of traditional values, leaving humans desperate to fill the void. Yet even Nietzsche couldn't foresee just how creatively shallow we'd become.
Influencers don't create values. They merely market nihilism wrapped in pretty filters. This individuality you speak of is as hollow as the brands you tag. You call it personal branding. I call it mass production with good lighting. Ah yes, the modern self, superficial, hyper-edited and monetized, a walking existential crisis wearing sponsored skincare, shouting authenticity into a ring light like it's a sacred ritual. Truly, nothing says depth like a Get Ready With Me video. But when you outsource your identity to algorithms, don't act shocked when you feel like a stranger in your own skin. The mask becomes the face, and eventually there's nothing left beneath it. I've said it for more than a century. I opened my book, The Gay Science, with it. And even in your age of Wi-Fi and wellness apps, it still holds. We are unknown to ourselves, we men of knowledge, and with good reason. We have never sought ourselves. How could it happen that we should ever find ourselves?
Nietzsche's warning isn't just poetic, it's surgical. He's saying that most of us will live and die without ever confronting who we truly are, because we never stop long enough to look. We mistake curated selves for real ones, applause for insight, consumption for discovery, and in this age, the illusion is easier than ever to maintain.
You parade your emptiness like it's empowerment, draped in brand deals and dopamine hits. This isn't self-expression, it's just capitalism posing as a self-care routine with an affiliate link.
Nietzsche saw clearly what we now live daily. The herd mentality, once limited to villages and churches, is now supercharged by algorithms. In his view, herd morality was the morality of the many, safe, comfortable, unchallenging. It prizes obedience over originality, approval over truth, and being liked over being honest. Today it's worse. The algorithm doesn't just reflect the herd, it feeds it, rewards it, and punishes anything that threatens its fragile sameness. Every scroll trains you to conform a little more. Every like is a breadcrumb back to the mob.
You are all living in the age of infinite voices, and not a single thought worth dying for. You mistake likes for virtue, trends for truth. You don't grow, you optimize. And worst of all, you call it freedom. You've democratized emptiness, mass-produced mediocrity with matching filters. The herd doesn't just graze anymore. It recycles each other's emptiness and calls it identity. Be yourself, they preach, yet their voices are indistinguishable from thousands of others. Authenticity, conveniently packaged and sold by Squarespace.
Meet the modern millennial, lost in digital despair. Each day begins not with purpose, but with a flood of notifications. Days blur into nights, spent scrolling through endless loops of people who appear happier, fitter, and more successful. They feel constantly connected, but in reality, we have never been more isolated. Validation no longer comes from personal growth or meaningful relationships, but from fleeting digital interactions and algorithm-approved attention.
They call it the good life, drowning in digital praise while gasping for something as outdated as real human affection. The human spirit, now reduced to reaction emojis and algorithmic approval. This is what's left of the soul, a feedback loop of likes, fire emojis, and silent desperation. Your existential dread isn't even yours anymore. It's been auto-generated by the feed. It comes from the algorithm that knows you better than you do. You consume endlessly, yet you are emptier than ever. You must confront your despair rather than hiding behind the numbing glow of your screen. Your dread isn't philosophical, it's personalized content.
Nietzsche's solution isn't gentle or comforting, it's brutally straightforward. He insists that anyone living in this digital illusion must confront their pain directly. To Nietzsche, suffering was a crucible for growth, not a symptom to be dulled by wellness mantras and Instagram-grade optimism.
To become who you truly are, you must first abandon these digital idols. Reclaim yourself from the jaws of mass-produced emptiness. Discard your phone. Step away from the algorithm's lullaby. Deny yourself the scroll. Let silence disturb you. Let boredom provoke thought. Stop curating your identity for others and start excavating the one buried beneath distraction. Read something that doesn't flatter you, something that makes you uncomfortable, that tears apart your worldview instead of validating it. Read something that hasn't been endorsed by brands, promoted by algorithms, or sanitized for mass appeal. Something unfiltered, unapproved, unprofitable.
So, are you ready to stop scrolling? Ready to stop performing, optimizing, and numbing yourself with hollow dopamine hits? Because awakening doesn't come with a push notification. It comes in silence, in solitude, in the suffering you refuse to avoid. Enlightenment doesn't arrive gently. It drags you by the throat, out of the feed and into the fire. Most will never choose this path, but if you're still here, maybe you're not like most. Most will forget this video in minutes. The rest might finally wake up.
Subscribe, not to content, but to your own becoming.